The Still Loading podcast is brought to you by the wonderful people on Patreon. Amazing people like Stephen P., Gilmer, Kevin from the Bit by Bit Foundation, Pib Extra, Melissa S., Matt aka Stormageddon, and Mr. Biscuits have all been wonderful enough to support the show over there. So if you would also like to get your name read at the beginning of an episode, along with a bunch of other goodies, go over to patreon.com/stillloadingpod and check out everything it has to offer. On this episode of Still Loading...
welcome to my humble domain, Princess Kochiko. Ouch! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Still Loading podcast. I'm your host, Josh Koval. Today's episode, we are jumping head first, Triforce first, back into the Legend of Zelda cartoon. We're covering episode 8 called Doppleganger. There's a weird, reverse order thing that we talked about, I think, the last Zelda episode. We'll rehash it again because that was like 2 months ago. But joining me, of course, my co-host with the mo-host, Dexter Morrill. Dex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I think I might try starting to wear some more black in my wardrobe.
Yeah, and have a couple times where you forget that you're not wearing black and then change into it for a frame and and come back into your normal clothes.
That's right. And maybe even I'll speak, but you'll use your mouth to... And
does that happen?
Yeah, that happens at one point in the middle where Zelda delivers a line and Link is the one moving his mouth.
This episode has so many mistakes in it.
Yeah.
It's it's wild. Okay, so yeah, we are here talking about episode 8, Doppleganger. As I said a month ago, like 2 months ago now, there was a little bit of confusion where we covered Underworld Connections on the last Zelda episode, which on Wild Brain, the YouTube channel that I guess owns the rights to the cartoon right now, the company that owns the rights to the Zelda cartoon, they released Underworld Connections as episode 7 and Doppelganger as episode 8, when if you look on Wikipedia and look at their release schedule for like which dates each episode released on, Underworld Connections actually came out after Doppelganger, which is a little confusing. But yeah. So we're rectifying it, I guess. Now we're going backwards, sort of, but also forwards. It's strange. We're here to talk about Doppelganger, which every time I hear that name, I just think of like, why isn't there a movie called Doppelgangster? I feel like that'd be a good...
Don't tell the public. You need to write that down.
I'm pretty sure that already exists. And if it doesn't, we have done ourselves a disservice as humans. There is a website called doppelgangster.com, apparently, which is a UK/Australian experimental performance company that has been recognized internationally for its ecological and socially engaged practice, which includes site-specific theater.
And we also need to have a variant for the Bruno Mars song, Doppelganger.
I've never even heard of that before.
The only reason I know is because my son and his entire class has been singing it nonstop. It's apartment, but it's like the Korean pronunciation, apata.
Oh, you apata. Yeah, I know that. Okay, no, I know that song. It's APT or
yes,
apartment.
Yeah, the song name is just written APT. Yeah.
Okay, that's a catchy song. It's a good one. Yes. Rosé and Bruno Mars. It's a good one.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, so we are here to talk about Doppelganger. The live action Mario one. Were you able to watch it before this text?
Yes. Oh my god.
This one,
really funny.
I'm not quite. I didn't enjoy the live action Mario segment as much as others, but this one is called The Magic Love, and we'll get into that in just a moment, or after the Zelda cartoon. The Zelda cartoon, or this episode, excuse me, was directed by John Grust, as we've seen before. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce his name, but I enjoy saying it. And it was written by Bob and Eve Ford, excuse me.
And Eve is his daughter, right?
Yes, and it's interesting because Eve Ford is, she has a Wikipedia page. She's an author and television screenwriter, but she's also daughter of American physicist and popular science fiction author Robert L. Forward, which I'm assuming is
Bob.
Oh wait, hold on. Bob is her brother.
Oh, interesting. So Bob is a junior, I'm guessing then.
I'm guessing. What's weird though is, oh wait, no, it's probably because Bob has a credit farther up. That might be why. That would make a lot of sense, because a lot of times Wikipedia will only have like the first like link available, like the first time someone's name appears, that's where they'll link it. So yes, so Robert L. Forward is the dad who died in 2002. He's a science fiction author, and Bob and Eve, we've brought this up before, but it still blows my mind that like the writers of the Legend of Zelda cartoon and a lot of the cartoons we grew up with were also like children of a science fiction author, which I guess makes sense, because if you look at Bob Ford's credits, he also wrote like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He wrote Rambo: The Force of Freedom.
Yeah.
But he also did like some G.I. Joe stuff, Biker Mike's from Mars. Does he have any? His most recent credit from 2018 is Kolapari, which I've never even heard of before. And I bet you it's on Netflix. Kolapari, An Army of Frogs. It's a comedy drama series.
That's funny. Yeah, I think I remember looking up that. I think that was like mostly funded by like Kickstarter or something like that.
Jesus Christ! It has voices. Mark Hamill, Keith David, Wendy Malick. They all do voices in it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's crazy. But all right, let's dive into it. We got a little bit of a time limit on this one, so we're gonna jump in now. The Zelda cartoon begins with a moblin climbing up the side of Zelda's castle, which is specifically the tower Link is in, and he's got two boomerangs in his mouth
and a blue ring on his finger.
Yes, and a blue ring on his finger. That's right. And while he's doing that, Link is practicing his swordsmanship. He's stabbing at the air. He's swinging. He's swiping. That's fine. He's swiper, no swiping. And the moblin comes in, throws a boomerang at him. Link deflects it away. He throws the other boomerang at him. The same animation repeats. The exact same animation, in fact.
So why there are two boomerangs is, I don't know.
Unnecessary. He zaps the moblin, and the moblin leaves the ring behind, and he's like, oh right, a ring of force field or whatever. I've always wanted one of these. And he kind of puts it in his little pouch.
Did you notice when Link was practicing that he was whistling to himself?
Yes.
And what he was whistling?
I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Yes, he is whistling the Mario song. Mario song. Both.
I liked that little Easter egg there of him whistling the Mario theme.
I actually did too. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought that was fun. And then after that, the moblin ends up in the evil jar, and Ganon has to come up with a new plot because it clearly, like his original one, clearly did not work. So he's trying to find some way to get Link out of, like, with the Triforce, out of the castle, and he has the perfect plan. How?
A magic frisbee. No,
an
evil magic frisbee. No, it's not what it is. But,
it looks like that. It's like this crystal. It's like this clear white disc. And I guess it's funny because I was watching this on stream, and so I looked away, and I guess this must have happened super fast because once I saw the frisbee, all of a sudden there was a mirror in front of it. So like him, I had no idea how it got there, and I have the video up in front of it now. It happens so rapidly where he just throws that light frisbee it like literally bursts out of the ground in like
Yeah, almost explodes a deer.
yeah. That was my high school band's name, Explodes a Deer. Um, and then it just goes into into Link's room, and there's magically, or maybe Zelda's room, excuse me, and there's magically just a mirror there. This frisbee o light just turns into a mirror, and it's Sprite is the fairy, right? I always forget her name.
Yeah, Sprite is her name, and I was like, oh, is Sprite going to like be the one who takes on this spell? But nope, nope. She just complains that it's something else for her to clean in the castle. But I will point out real quick that the Moblin drops that ring, which obviously doesn't come back until later. But for those who play the old games, it's way harder to get a blue ring than just killing a Moblin in the games. You have to usually have to either find it in a dungeon or buy it with a lot of rupees.
Is that in the original or is that in Zelda 2?
Yeah, the very original Zelda game, the blue ring is super helpful because it breaks your heart into quarter, like the hearts on your life meter. You take it takes more hits to drain your life when you have a blue ring.
Oh,
So
I
that's
really need to beat the original Zelda game.
but that's where the force field part comes in. They kind of, we'll get to it when we get to it, but yes, they take some creative liberties with the blue ring.
And you know what? Props to them. I'm cool with that type of creative liberty. And so Zelda is, Sprite's looking at that mirror, and she says, "Great, I have to, it's something else I have to clean." Zelda comes in and it's like, "Where did this mirror come from?" And Sprite goes, "I don't know. I thought you ordered it." And she's looking at it. I don't know what it is about these cartoons, maybe because the animation budget was lower, but every time a character looks in a mirror and you have to see them reflected, it is the most uncanny valley thing for me. I don't know what it is. It just makes me so uncomfortable.
It's because they have to animate both. Like it's not as simple as a mirror,
Yeah, I can imagine how difficult it would be to like make it 1-to-1 and everything. And I guess because the budget is lower,
and
it just,
trying to
I don't
get the
know.
right angle. Like that's why it feels so strange, is because the angle might not be right, and so your brain knows the physics of a mirror. But for some reason, when it's animated, if it's not exactly right, it can make you feel weird.
That might be it. That might be where the uncanny valley is coming from. I know my brain knows the physics of a mirror.
Yep.
That's a very good point.
Like the line from the Red Letter Media reviews of Star Wars, like, you didn't notice, but your brain did.
What are they referring to in Star Wars when they talk about that?
It's like, I'm trying to remember specifically, but anytime there's like these parts that make you feel like this isn't right, about the Star Wars prequels, like this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like it usually has to do with certain
Like the
plot
CG and
devices
everything.
or
Plot
even
devices.
the CG. Yeah, like it could be storytelling, it could be anything, but it's a recurring gag in their review. Like you didn't notice, but your brain did.
So Zelda's standing in front of her mirror, and then out of the heavens, out of the sky, a light comes from fucking nowhere. And just fucking nowhere, Dext.
Is
And
it supposed to be the moonlight?
I don't know. But it basically, the way I implied is that it's Ganon's magic, like activating the mirror or something like that. And it creates the doppelganger the eponymous, the titular doppelganger.
Yeah.
Maybe not eponymous, but the titular doppelganger for this episode, where you see an evil version of Zelda. She walks out of the mirror along with the rest, like moblins and stuff like that, which posits that this mirror serves not only as a device to create evil twins of whoever looks into it, but also as a connection to Ganon's underworld, because it is a definite connection. They talk about that. In fact, when Link hears the real Zelda scream after she encounters the doppelganger and the moblins, he rushes in to save her, and during the fight, one of the moblins throws a vase and it breaks the mirror. So now the evil Zelda, who needs to pretend that she's the good Zelda, can't get back an easy way to Ganon anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I need to find another way to get back.
Exactly.
Broken.
And there's a lot of stuff in this fight scene, though, man, that I'm just like baffled by. like one, it's really weird seeing Zelda get tied up and then just like walked into nothing in the mirror. But then also it's really weird just how like I understand this show can't have a consistent world of physics. I get that. But the fact that Link not only opens the door, but fucking busts off the hinges of a giant fucking oaken door, that boy must have calves as strong as fucking like diesel trucks or some shit. I don't know.
Dumps like a truck.
Did you know that they weren't talking about butts in that song? They were talking about calves. Dumps like a truck.
Exactly. No, and
Dumps like
I
a truck.
noticed
Calves like what? All night long.
I made a note that
Let me see those thong sandals. Sorry.
I made a note that Link is doing a lot in his pajamas in this show. Like I feel
Excuse
like
me, it's pronounced pajamas.
his llama in pajamas. Yeah.
No, but yeah, his pajamas.
Yeah, he seems to do a lot in his pajamas. I feel like every episode there's a moment where he's in his pajamas, and I'm not sure.
Maybe we were on the right track. Like we were joking about that song. You know, the thong song's actually about calves. Maybe he did really have dumps like a truck, and he just wanted to show it off. You know, it's very
I mean,
high.
if you got it, you got to flaunt it, right?
He's got to flaunt it. That Link's got a donk, and I think this show proves it. He tries to hide it in that nightgown he's wearing.
Yeah. There's also this is also another moment because the very beginning when the Moblin's climbing the tower, that shot goes on for a really long time of him just climbing. There's a few moments like that where there's things that they go hold on for too long, or there's some other animation errors. And during
they would
this,
never pad the timeout on episodes, Dexter.
Right. And after the mirror gets broken, like one of the Moblins takes Link in a headlock, and then it just cuts to the broken mirror, and you just hear them like like fighting sound effects, and it's just the shot of the mirror for like a solid 5 seconds. And I was like, we're really saving on animation on this one.
Saving on animation, padding on time, hence the double boomerangs and repeated shot of him deflecting it. So the mirror breaks, and the evil Zelda has to figure out a way to get the real Triforce out, and she immediately runs up and smooches Link. And I know it's an animation. I'm pretty sure it's like an animation error because Link's eyes look normal at first, but then around where is it? It's 5 minutes and 46 seconds on the Wild Brain video. His eyes are cross-eyed. And it kind of fits with like the whoa, I just got kissed, like the over the top, like cartoonish reaction.
Right.
But it wasn't like that at first. It's like he shakes his head and then his eyes get fucked up after that.
His eyes forgot where to be. Yeah.
His eyes forgot where to be. As you do. He goes in for another smooch, but trips, falls, and Zelda then steps on his chest. The evil Zelda, the doppelganger Zelda, steps on his chest. And
Zelda Natrix.
That's right. The Zelda we all didn't realize we wanted. This is a horny episode, Dexter. Not of the podcast, but of the show.
Give it time. It could be
give
both.
it time. We'll make this episode horny too, to sync up with it. So the evil Zelda's plan is to basically bring Link and the Triforce directly to Ganon because once again the mirror got shattered, so she could not travel easily. And they're riding across horses. Actually, excuse me. She says, "We need to go fight Ganon right now." And without questioning it, they just go. And Link's carrying the Triforce. Is it the Triforce of Wisdom? I want to say
yes.
that they have.
Yeah, it's Zelda's Triforce of Wisdom. Did you notice anything on this? The same thing I did?
No.
Why is it not attached to a string like a balloon?
Oh, well, he calls out that, like, why aren't you making this float like normal?
Yes. So when they brought that up, I was like, oh, snap. We've got some, like, consistency between episodes. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm. And because she's not the real Zelda, she can't do it.
Yeah.
And I love her reaction. It's like, because I don't want to. That's why. Shut up. And then just keeps on going. Like really playing into that Zelda matrix. Zelda natrix. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
She's Link's Dommy mommy. Oh my gosh. Well, Link. Actually, you know what? I'll throw it over to you, Dex. How does Link start to put the pieces together that this Zelda is not who she claims to be?
As they are, because they're riding their horses to Ganon's lair, and as you said, they're bringing the Triforce with them. Link is responsible for carrying it, where he complained that it was heavy, and that's when I was like, wait, isn't that thing supposed to be like floating? And they tie it down, but they do address that, like we mentioned. But then Link, as they're driving, oh my god, as they're riding the horses by the lake, Link looks down and notices their reflections in the lake.
She's a vampire!
And that Princess Zelda does not have a reflection, just the horse. And I put in my notes, Link notices that Zelda doesn't have a reflection. Is this a good episode? Meaning, like, I can't believe this is like multiple moments of really good writing in a row that I was like, did we just stumble on a really well written episode?
I don't know. Maybe it's hard for me to give any compliments to this show.
I'm giving all of the credit to Eve over Bob.
Okay. I think
because she's the difference here, because it's usually just Bob
forward. Actually, hold on, let me see here. Is it normally? Yeah. So the last one, that sinking feeling, was Dennis O'Flaherty. The one that we kind of did the weird one was Underworld Connections. That was Bab forward. I don't know why I have to say it that way. Actually, you know what? I do know why I try to say it that way. There's a very bizarre character from Comedy Bang Bang named Bob Ducca, and he kind of talks, I'm Bob Ducca.
That's a good impersonation.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I mean I've seen Comedy Bang Bang, but I am not as on top of it, I don't think, as you are.
So he has a whole thing. So Bob Ducca, the character, this is going to be a little bit of a side tangent, but Bob Ducca, the character, has like basically one of the bits that the improviser does. Seth Morris is the improviser for Bob Ducca, and is that Bob Ducca he always has a list of something, like list of ailments, list of medications he's on, list of this, and so I actually looked up. This is from a Comedy Bang Bang Reddit, so I hope this is accurate, but some of these I remember. So he goes like, here's a list of not in any order of all my ailments and diets, and I'm paraphrasing that part, but then the list goes: restless leg syndrome, fibromyalgia, high fiber fibromyalgia, hot tub foot, Lou Gehrig's disease, Lou Barlow's disease, Lucy Lou flu, advanced moist shin disorder, hypertolerance to lactose.
Hypertolerance to it.
Sorry, yeah, that got me. Urinary tract infection, urinary 8-tract infection, trickle nipple, thick urine syndrome.
Oh god.
Habsburg cholera, clogged arteries, dropsy, dry lip, intestinal colic, allergic to indoor toilets, sufferer of milk leg, loofah rash, bone worm, selective fatigue, hepatitis R, irritable bowel syndrome, spastic ear discharge, pubic lice, amphibial rabies. There's so many more. Like, he goes on for a while. I'm not going to read all of them. Hold on. The last one on this list: internal sneezing. I just love that Bob Ducca, and so it's his delivery that like gets me every single time.
It's amazing.
It's really funny.
Oh man, I think the last time I consumed any Comedy Bang Bang was, didn't they have when they were on Netflix for a little bit or something? They had like a couple seasons or something.
They were on Netflix for a while with the TV show. Yeah, that was on IFC for a while, and yeah, it's a whole bunch of other ones.
I think I remember watching that like binging that at some point.
Oh, sorry. Someone just wrote some of their favorite ones of his like fictional ailments, and there's only like 5 here that I'm going to read because the others I read: Anglocentric sickle cell anemia, selective albinism,
Selective.
dirt belly, diagnosed as hard to kill, and finally, and lastly, dusty sperm.
Oh, God. That paints such a horrible picture.
What does that mean? Oh my god! So yeah, that's the end of this Bob Ducca digression. Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you want more Bob Ducca digressions. I will make sure to. I will make sure to find some more lists of stuff that he lists out, and some of them aren't always ailments. Some of them, like I said, are like medicines that he may be taking, or like a list of like I don't know. It's hard to explain. He has a whole bunch of lists that he does. That's kind of like the shtick of the character, and it's just all like really funny one-off jokes like that. But anyway,
Awesome.
so Zelda. This episode was usually, the Zelda cartoon is usually made worse by Bob forward. Forward.
I can't remember if we mentioned it on here or if I read it elsewhere that this show was one of Eve's entrances into writing television, and that Bob said that the episodes with her name on them, he gives her most of the credit for, and the reason he's credited on there is because he, zhuzhed it for television purposes. Like all he did was like kind of reformat it for her so that it would work in television kind of thing. But otherwise, pretty sure this is a legit like Eve forward episode.
Oh, I don't remember that. It is a stronger episode in terms of plot and writing. Like there's actual continuity, and also Zelda has a lot of agency in this.
Yeah.
I do get a little frustrated that anything that Link does, she gets mad at, no matter what. Like she sees that Link is being like chased away by like being tricked by the evil Princess Zelda. And so even though she knows that, she still treats him like shit. I'm like, come on, man. Like you didn't know.
Stupid. So stupid.
But at the same time, Link also is a piece of shit. So you know what? Her rage is kind of justified at the same time.
This is true. True.
So it does cut to, after they're riding across the land and you see evil Zelda doesn't have a reflection, Link starts putting the pieces together and he kind of realizes like, all right, I'm going to have to, I might be going into a trap here. It cuts over to Zelda being strapped to like a stalactite or stalagmite or some other spire coming out of the ground. And Ganon's like, being all evil in front of her and just says, you're not going to win this time, and leaves. And she gets out, like she's tied up, like with her arms behind her back around this thing. And the way she gets out is by cutting the ropes with a boomerang.
Sharpest weapon you can think of. The
sharpest weapon you can think of, a wooden boomerang. Now, I know in like warfare, like there are people who use boomerangs, they are like blades on them, like you could fuck somebody up with it. Yeah. But in Zelda, they don't look sharp. They're just like, they look like wooden boomerangs.
They canonically stun an enemy. They don't even do damage in most Zelda games.
Unless it's a weak enemy type of thing.
Yeah, or unless
you can cuss them with a boomerang.
Or like an appendage or something. Like I'm thinking of 64 on Ocarina of Time, like taking down Dodongo's cavern, the boss in there, like you have to use the boomerang to knock the tentacles off the ceiling and stuff. Like
Yep.
But did you notice that Zelda calls Ganon Porky?
No.
When he's got her hostage, and I was like, oh, we have Looney Tunes in Hyrule, I guess.
Oh, and Ganon also has a really good line when he goes coochie coochie coo.
Yeah,
and then she bites his finger.
This is a particularly, if you're looking for sound clips for Ganon, anybody out there for any reason, this would be a good one, just because he's full on evil Pee Wee Herman in this episode. For those that remember how Pee Wee would have his really kitty voice, and then he'd do like the weird deep voice too. Yeah, he would like go between.
I can't do a Pee Wee.
I mean, that's a good enough example, but like that's what he's doing, but evil. Like,
well, Pee Wee's like is basically Kermit the Frog.
That's true.
That part I can do an okay Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Hi-yo, everyone. Kermit the Frog here.
Now it's time to sing a little song. Um, but Ganon's is he goes from like Skeletor
Sorry,
yelling.
imagine Ganon just suddenly like, why are there so many songs about Zelda? And where is my
He
Triforce?
pulls out a harp and starts playing it like a banjo.
Yeah. I have an evil jar, but never a good jar. Why can't I just be good? Okay.
I'm golf clapping here. But no, for Ganon though, he fluctuates between Skeletor shrieking and like possessed demon deep voice.
He is all over the damn place.
He is peak in this episode, as the kids say.
So they're traveling through the underworld now. Link is complaining about how heavy the Triforce is. The evil Zelda comes up and kisses him again, and right when they get to the top of the steps, and I do love that they can kind of continue this like weird MC Escher underground maze thing. Like every time they go to the underworld, there's all these weird spirals and towers. I do like that continuity throughout the series.
Yeah.
But because of that, you never really know where they're at any given point, which is fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But when they get to the top of the steps, there's two doors on the left and right side of the kind of like the rampart or whatever it is that they're on. And I thought this was a weird. I don't know if it's meant to be a continuity error or if they just cut this part short. The doors open and enemies come out, but in the first shot, it looks like the horniest episode you've ever seen. Again, tentacles, hentai coming straight for their asses. But then immediately after the shot cuts to Link reacting to these light tentacles, then it's just moblins and fucking what are the skeleton dudes again? I always forget their name. Stalfos, thank you. Yeah. And then there's a short fight, and I love the design of the Stalfos in this just because they are so non-threatening.
They're pretty dopey.
I just the picture of the one carrying the bomb as he's trying to throw it at Link is just so amusing to me.
Yes. Yeah, it's very Three Stooges.
It's pretty funny. Well, he drops the bomb. Link goes to pick it up while it's lit, and one of the moblins behind him chucks a boomerang at him. It hits Link in the back, goes ah, and he throws the bomb behind him. Which, when the boomerang bounced off of him, it causes it to go back to the moblin that threw it and hit him and kill him. And then the bomb lands and blows up the other two moblins. It is just a comedy of errors.
Yes. I love the moblin running away from his own boomerang.
Mm.
Yeah. Very. It just came up again on my screen. It's so funny. He's like, he runs away.
And then the bomb blows up and it causes the Triforce to shoot up into the air, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then that when it lands, it takes out two more Stalfos. And
That's
then Link
right.
takes out the remaining ones.
The weight of this Triforce is so confusing and inconsistent.
I mean, it must have been a really powerful blast to shoot it up so high.
That's true.
That's
but also powerful enough, like the shockwaves are powerful enough to kill Stalfos when it hits the ground.
I guess so, but it doesn't affect Link. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Once again, not that we're expecting physics accuracy with this.
Yeah. Which we did glance over. We did glance over the fact that Link was complaining about how heavy the Triforce was, and to motivate Link, he gets another kiss from Zelda, which, as we know, is like making our brains glitch because that's not supposed to happen on this show. And of course, he gets the energy to keep going. But in that moment is when Link says, like, okay, now I'm good or whatever. And Zelda goes, good, come on. But it still stays on Link. And so he mouths those words, good, come on.
Oh, that's what, you were talking to me a bit about that. Yeah. I totally missed that part. The only thing that I recognized was when they messed up the evil Zelda and they swapped out the good Zelda sprite with the, not sprite, but
the color scheme and everything.
Yeah. So after this happens, the real Princess Zelda, who we saw escape earlier, shows up. Link's like, "Princess, it's not what it looks like, I swear." And evil Zelda takes the Triforce and starts running with it. And she's like, "No time to waste, get after her." And he just goes, "Excuse me, princess." Of
Yeah.
course, as he, this one, I actually feel like, I remember there was another episode we talked about it as well. I feel like per capita, this has a lot, like, more "excuse me, princesses" than most episodes.
That's true. But
Per
also, I was
capita.
thinking during that scene, why did the bad Zelda not help the Stalfos and Moblins at that moment?
That's a good question, because like the jig is like, when does she want? The only thing is she doesn't want to reveal her cover, but like, why does it matter if that's
Yeah,
if that's the spot that's supposed to defeat Link? Why wouldn't you just turn there? I guess in the
right.
off chance that it doesn't work, and then you can still pretend that you're good. I don't know.
Yeah, because she ends up picking up the Triforce and running off with it anyway. Once the real Zelda shows up, and
Hmm.
which we are then treated to probably some of my favorite music so far in this show. The chase music is pretty awesome.
That one.
Yeah, I was like, I wrote down in my notes, chase music is legit, is what my notes say.
It's really good. I do enjoy. Um, I do really enjoy the chase music in this show. Quite the music in general just is. We've said it before a bunch of times.
Yeah,
It's still worth repeating. It's great.
yeah. And we're treated to a little bit of Scooby Doo door gags
Yes.
during this as well.
Also, very Looney Tunes esque type of thing too. With like,
Yeah.
I think of like Bugs and whatnot. So, side note: this is super random, just because I mentioned Looney Tunes. So there's a convention coming up near me where Maurice LaMarche is going to be. The brain himself.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny. I actually want to talk to him about. He did a podcast guest spot on one of my favorite podcasts, James Bonding. But the thing I'm going to ask him to sign is Sheep Raider, the Looney Tunes game for the PS1. Sheep Raider, because he voices Yosemite Sam.
That's awesome.
I had no idea Maurice LaMarche voiced Yosemite Sam. Also, according to either Wikipedia or IMDb or whatever, remember in Elf, Buddy's belch, the bruh part?
Yeah,
Apparently, that's Maurice LaMarche, who was uncredited for that.
that's incredible.
I'm going to ask him when I see him in person. Like, I gotta know, is that you? So,
Did you drink Sprite first? What did you
like,
how did you
give me your
prepare?
technique, because I got a daughter to show this to, and a wife to discuss.
Yeah. For
Um,
real.
okay, so they're chasing after evil Zelda. Evil Zelda opens up a hole in the floor and jumps down, and they have to take the long way around. I love real Zelda's reckless abandon and how she fights him. Actually, I'm sorry. One thing before that, they use the protect ring before this section.
The
I
blue
almost
ring, yeah.
forgot the protect ring. They're running around, and they're getting shot at by Octorocks.
Yeah.
And to get away, Link brings out the protection ring from his belt pouch, whatever it is, jumps off with Zelda and shoots them with his sword, and then turns on the protection ring, and it protects him from the fall. And I did think it was weird that she was so mad about it. Like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? No, that's fair, because he didn't explain anything. He just said, "Hold on to me," and then pushes her off the edge. Now, with that said, they land safely. He gives another "excuse me, princess," throws his hat out of anger, and I will say, I don't know why Zelda isn't entirely mad there, because in the very next moment, she sees evil Zelda down below and fucking nosedives. Like, she jumps head first. She
Even
doesn't know
less of a
what's down
plan.
below.
Yeah, even less of a plan than Link's was.
Like, Link planned to use the ring. She's just like, I'm just going to tackle this bitch from like 40 feet up.
Yep. And then we get our classic Doppleganger episode moment where they land in the mud. That's how they survive the fall. And so when they come out, they're both of their clothing look brown. That's not the color to help distinguish them.
Hmm.
And so Link's idea of finding out who is who, of course, is to request a kissing contest, to which case the evil one is all for it, and the good one's like, ew, get out of here. And I think she slaps him too, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. And then if you see like the close up of the evil one, like angrily grimacing, it's genuinely hideous. Like she looks mean.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Zelda got to take her out in this one.
Yes.
I feel
I
like
thought that was cool too.
most cartoons back then, damsel in distress, all that jazz, we wouldn't have gotten that kind of comeuppance. But once again, I give Eve Forward the credit for that one.
It's definitely one of the stronger episodes. Like it's still like I still don't enjoy it just because I think I don't like the characters that they made Zelda and Link into, specifically Link. But out of the other ones of that we've covered so far, this is definitely one of the better ones. And the way they get out though is because Ganon shows up here after Zelda takes out evil Zelda, and Link just shoots a whole bunch of like holes into the ceiling of the underworld, which causes them to fall on Ganon, drops him into the water, and then they hold onto the Triforce and it just floats up. I guess Zelda using her magic. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, once again, the scale of the Triforce is inconsistent, and like how heavy it is and all that stuff. Because
what are you talking about? It looks normal to me.
In the shots back and forth to them, like the close-ups of them, that it looks massive, the Triforce.
Mm-hmm. And they get up and they get out and they run off into the sunset, and that's how the Zelda cartoon, the Zelda episode ends. But before we go on to the next segment of our episode, Dex, any final thoughts on Doppleganger?
I thought this was a solid one. I liked this one a lot. I can see the kind of D&D fantasy influence from Bob and Eve Forward's background. Like, I think we mentioned that their father was a sci-fi writer.
We mentioned it earlier in the episode. Yeah,
I can see that kind of influence. It's pretty solid episode. I enjoyed it. I even put in my notes that like we didn't mess around. We jumped right into this episode. Like I remember putting that early on that like, oh wow, there's like no time to breathe. These 15 minutes just fly by. There's action set piece after action set piece. For the Zelda cartoon, I thought this was one of the better ones.
A rare case of agreement between Dexter and I on the Zelda cartoon. We almost always, there's been a few times of disagreement on the Mario one, but there has almost always been agreement that we both like a Mario one, and you almost always like the Zelda ones, and I do not. But I enjoyed this one more than some of the others. And I can say I'm with you on the fact that it was a very fast-paced one compared to the others. I think it really helped it out. And unlike the Zelda cartoon, the live-action Mario segment was not fast-paced. I did not enjoy this, and I think we can jump right into it if you're ready, Dex.
Yeah.
So the live-action Mario segment that was supposed to, bookend the Zelda cartoon is called The Magic Love, and the whole premise, like literally, this is the entire. I'm going to relay the entire plot of this in 2 seconds, which normally would make sense considering, this is only about 4 minutes. Like they're 4.5 minutes long, these live action segments, right? Totally fine. But in almost every other live action Mario segment, I feel like we spend 20 minutes on it because there's just so much insanity happening. In this, the entire plot is Mario gets a magic apple and that whoever eats it will fall in love with the first person they see. He says it's him, but it's as we find out later on, it's not him. It's just the first person they see.
And the apple was supposed to be for Luigi's apple pie that he was baking.
Oh, was that what it was for?
Yeah, because he comes in and Luigi's like got a crust that he's making, and he's like, "All right, did you get the stuff?" And Mario just shows up with the one magic apple, and is like, "This is better." It's supposed to be like a Jack and the Beanstalk situation, I think,
but without the beanstalk or anything else. It's like it's a combination of like the magic fruit along with Jack and the Beanstalk, and a woman comes in. I thought this was meant to be like a real person. It's not. The person who comes in, The person who comes in, Dex, is a character named Mad Donna, played by Paula Irvine.
Do you get it?
Mad Donna, and she looks like Madonna. Whoa,
Yep.
that's a coincidence. There, that's it. That's the entirety
Yep, and
of it.
she's dressed just like every person that goes to like an 80s or 90s party that wants to dress up like Madonna. It's like the exact Halloween costume you see when someone's dressed up as Madonna.
The lace gloves, the pale skin, like a lot of makeup on type of thing.
Yep.
And she falls in love with Mario, and she's supposedly like this like famous singer in the world of Super Mario. And the moment she agrees to marry him, she calls her agent on the pizza phone and says, "Cancel my tour." And then she like will be midway through it, and then the magic spell will wear off, and she's like, "What the fuck? What are you doing? Who are you?" And getting all mad, like she's justifiably like confused as to where she is. And then she'll take another bite of the apple out of anger and then fall back in love with Mario.
It's so weird.
It's such a weird thing. And then at the very end of the episode, she ends up falling in love with Luigi, and Luigi's like, "Oh, Mario, we got a problem." And that's how it ends.
I want to clip the Mario's reaction though. He has this real long drawn out like I think that's really funny. The other, I had to write it down because I was like, Luigi, man, with the sick burns. I love Luigi. When Mario explains that he got the magic apple for like a bunch of beans or something like that, like they're making the Jack and the Beanstalk joke. Luigi says, "You know, Mario, there's a sucker born every minute, and for the next 60 seconds, you're the chosen one."
It really is good. I like it quite a bit. That's a very Luigi's great in this, man. Yeah. I enjoy Danny Wells quite a bit. The actress who played Mad Donna, by the way, she it's weird. She simultaneously did a fuck ton of acting and no acting. Her career spans from 1987 to 1994, so less than 10 years. Like her career in like on TV camera. Then she transitioned to like doing, what did I see? It was like on Wikipedia they mentioned how she does like communications. She got into like communications.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is most of her career is as a kid because she self-admitted like that she retired to go to college, if that tells our listeners how young she was when she did her 10-year career. And
from 1990, here's what I'm saying, where she did a lot but also not a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, if you can make it into acting in any stretch, like could make guest spots on any show, like you've made it, like that's impressive, right? And her first credit on IMDb is a CBS School Break special from 1987. She also is a character in a movie called Party Camp, which I had never heard of. A teenage boy takes a job as a counselor at summer camp. He finds that the camp is run like a military training camp, and he resolves to turn it into Party Central. That sounds stupid as shit, and I'm very curious to see what like that would be like. Anyway, but her biggest credit though, not the Super Mario Brothers Super Show where she plays Mad Donna for one episode, but and actually, you know what? How old? What does it give her age? Because that's going to make me very uncomfortable to think that she was like flirting with Mario if she went to college in the 90s.
Yeah.
She looks very young, but I didn't know like how young. That it still is a little. I'm not quite sure what I think about that.
Yeah, and that's not the first time because they've had a couple young actresses. Remember, we kind of talked about.
She was born in '68. She was born in '68, so she would have been 20 in 1988. So by this time, she was still very, very young, but still. But what I was going to say is her biggest acting credit, not the Mario Super Show, not Phantasm 2, not doing time on planet Earth, but it is actually not even Beverly Hills 90210. She has a guest credit in that. It's a soap opera called Santa Barbara, where she was on 158 episodes.
Damn.
Between 1991, I was about to say 1958. It was 158 between 91 and 93. That's crazy.
That's
I
impressive.
and that soap opera, by the way, only ran from 84 to 93, so she made it for the last few years.
Huh.
But there's like over 300. The actor A. Martinez in that show appeared in 1,493 episodes over the course of those like 11 years or whatever, 84 to
Holy,
92. Not
holy
even 10
moly.
years. Soap operas are a completely different breed, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
That is wild. Anyway, any final thoughts on either? We already talked about Doppleganger. Any final thoughts on The Magic Love, Dexter?
Um, it was as charming as ever, in my opinion. I thought that the acting was charming, even though the gag was kind of repetitive and silly. And like, I think Luigi's line there saved it for me, as to like, okay, that was actually really funny. Otherwise, I mean, more forgettable than Luigi and Mario dressing up as women to be their cousins or whatever that one was.
Oh, that was a good one too. Yeah. But all right. This one didn't do it for me just because it was too late on plot, like the Magic Love
Yeah,
one. I mean, and it's fine. Like the gag is fine. It's a gag that I would come to expect from the Super Show,
right,
but it just, I don't know, the zaniness just wasn't there for me.
right.
But anyway, let's wrap this one up, Dex, because we are at a bit of a time limit on this one. So, thank you once again for joining me, my friend. Always a pleasure having you on the show, and I always enjoy doing these. I'm excited for our next Mario Super Show episode. As per usual, where can the good people find you online, and anything you would like to promote?
You can find me on most of the social media websites out there. I still go on them in a healthy amount, or I try to. But you can find me under my name, Dexter Morrill, DexterMorrill. You can hit me up there. Check out any of the artwork I post, or just chat with me about old video games, old cartoons. I'll do that as well. Otherwise, I've kind of pulled back from projects at the moment. But as soon as I have some new ones on my docket, I'll be sure to rep them here.
All right. As per usual, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Still Loading Pod, mainly on Blue Sky at stillloadingpodcast.com. If you want to, I'm also on Twitch at Still Loading Pod, where I stream whenever the hell I'm able to. If you want to support the show, you can do so in a number of ways. The easiest way is to give it a 5-star rating or review on whichever podcasting app you use. It helps more people find the show, and it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I like feeling warm and fuzzy. You can also support the show over on Patreon, patreon.com/stillloadingpod. For only $1 a month, you get all the episodes a little bit earlier with better audio quality, as well as access to patron voting rights, which help guide the direction of the show, at least on a quarterly basis when I post the polls. That's all at the $1 level. For $3 a month, you get everything I mentioned at the previous tier, plus patron shoutouts, which you heard at the beginning of this episode. For $4 a month, you get all the previous stuff, plus 2 mini bonus episodes every month. And for $5 a month, you get everything, all the previous tiers I mentioned, plus my monthly movie podcast, which right now is still family. My monthly Fast and Furious movie podcast, where all the guests who join me aren't just friends, they're family. But that's it. That is all the time I have for you on this episode of Still Loading. Thank you all so much for listening. Dexter, thank you once again for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And with all that said, listeners, excuse me, princess.